Hello there, what's going on, YouTubers? I figured I've got something to get off my chest again. Well, still, in particular, about my own status, about my own status quo, and what I perceive that have been going on to me and around me, etc. Well, in fact, just about a couple of days ago, I suppose I got to re-experience, the panic, the extreme anxiety I suffered from back in the days when you know, just right before I launched my, you know, well, sort of self-inflicted state of homelessness slash exile, but also it had a lot to do with the persecutions inflicted from that wicked woman who allegedly popped me out from her stinking vagina. So, as a result, I almost, run away in panic again. But then, well, I don't know if I should thank God, but I took a full dosage of low, what it is, what what's it called? A full, I took a full dosage of Laura Zappin, yeah, and got back, got back in shape, I suppose. Um, well, maybe the its effects, lasts to, to this very day, to this very night. I don't know what exactly triggered it. But I suppose the panic, the prolonged period of panicking and worrying about whether I could still manage to withdraw the funds you guys kindly donated and chipped in to me through my Patreon page. But thank God PayPal released them. Well, at least for this time. Not sure about what would happen next time though. Yes, and just a couple of hours ago, I took some time to update, my, the phone number associated with my PayPal account, which, is, and I suppose will forever, for the largest part, forever remain my current, my existing Australian number, which I have been using for, for more than a decade, for 12 years, for nearly, well, actually for more than 12 years to be absolutely precise and accurate. Yeah. I just I just have to I have to come up with a plan, so that it never happens again. I mean, that's another extreme anxiety and panic attack, which almost drove me to to launch another state of homelessness slash exile again, over and over again. But thanks to that dosage, I quickly regained focus and a bit of strength, to remain here for as long as God needs me to be. well, technically speaking, to be absolutely honest, I don't know how much time exactly I have to remain here. Um, but I don't suppose I can leave. I don't suppose I can leave. I can depart from here until I made some more amount of funds that I feel safe and and confident in helping me um, land a good place, a good spot, overseas, in countries like Bulgaria, Belgium, or whatnot, maybe even in Belarus, you know, or even in Russia. I have plans, to flee to Russia, but the specifics um would probably qualify for another video, since so since during this particular filming session, I just like to share some insights into my life, into the mental struggles and and the mental struggles and conflicts and the hardships I've been experiencing, so that can give you some, so that it can give those, it can give you and those who might suffer from similar from similar circumstances or situations to to get back on their feet, since I don't suppose men like us have the access to the help we actually need, particularly in less developed countries or regions, like East Asia, like in China, in Japan, or or whatnot, or maybe even in poorer countries or regions like India or or in Pakistan or whatnot. I you know at least for the time being, at the moment, I don't have a way of knowing exactly how many dudes are suffering from from similar or nearly identical situations as I do, outside my current residence. So yeah, and every day, pretty much, during times like this, pretty much every day, every freaking day spells a huge struggle and affliction to us, to us men, not to mention to those who are suffering from similar afflictions or circumstances like some other guys do. um you know since I most recently, I don't see I don't see my channel growing very much in terms of the number of in terms of the number of of subscribers and views, and that really does frustrates me. I can't say that it doesn't frustrate me at all, since one way or another, more or less here and there, I do kind of want to and have been trying to put a serious a serious amount of hard work onto the growth, onto the the overall development of my channel. Though I really have the necessary tools and the time and the energy or strength, to devote a lot to it, on a regular basis. And I do begin to take note of a few crucial, or I should say indispensable elements that currently my channel still lacks. In contrast, in comparison, to those channels, that, well, not just channels on YouTube in general, but channels that that are run by similar guys, dudes, or men who kind of share something somewhat in common with me, and they still do get a lot more views, a lot more increase in subscribers, and they do manage to retain to maintain such growth quite much. I do that. I do. So my channel does lack some of those crucial elements. Like, first of all, I I don't actually take the time to source some sample clips, some sample videos, and blend them into my filming sessions. And well, since I have found that rather tiring and troublesome to do so, and crucial element number two that I managed to have found, that my channel currently still lacks, is that I don't, in fact, cover a highly specialized or highly specific range of range of a range of specific and highly specialized topics that that viewers will usually find most interesting or fascinating, like lifestyle, or something that has something that pertain to to arts, to things that are less philosophical, less less abstract, but more more lively, more vivid, yeah. And well, you can say that I do kind of always strive to become both a generalist and a specialist. Yet on most occasions, more often than not, it tends to fail quite miserably in my case. Though I did have some occasional, highly occasional, highly occasional, success. Since they are just a very just a handful of videos of mine that actually earned like more than a dozen a dozen likes, and a few, maybe 5 to 6 comments by by human viewers, not bots. So that's basically how I summarize the reasons why the reasons as to why my channel hasn't been growing very much recently. Since I just lack so much things, and the more I try to learn, the more I tend to realize that how little I still know, even about even about the subjects and the topics that I tend to find myself most familiar and specialized. That I tend to find myself most familiar with and specialized in. You know, including but not limited, to to MGTOW lifestyle, and to to how to cope with loneliness, how to make friends, how to make the best use out of your loneliness and hardships and pain, and blah blah blah. And on the other hand, I have broken my ring light, while I was trying to, while I was attempting to, to carry one of my sex dolls, while I was attempting to, to reposition her, and her leg, either her feet or her leg, just dashed against the light globe of the ring, that ring light. I bought about 3 or 4 years ago. That was quite some time ago. Yes, that was before I launched my mission of adventure and exodus to 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 Japan, in late year 2019, and then I got spooked. I got so heavily fired at and persecuted by that wicked woman, by her threatenings and shit and whatnot. I beg your pardon for my stuttering, but I tried my best not to stutter, and I know it does, it occurs to me like such a cruel irony and paradox. The more I try not to stutter, the more I tend to stutter. And the same goes for anxiety, for panicking, for panic attacks, and for lack of self-esteem or confidence. As Uncle Coach Red Pill pointed out years ago, probably even decades ago, about the confidence paradox. I highly suggest that you go and watch that video of his, at the channel called CRP archive. I'll try to put a link onto this video, for the sake of efficiency and convenience for you guys, and for me, probably for me in the future as well, so that I can have a quick link to I have a quick link to refer to, and can somehow fast switch from one filming mode, or from one filming scene to another, therefore making my videos more fun and more engaging, more interesting to watch and whatnot. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I'm afraid I have nothing more to report to you guys. Other than me myself trying to trying to make the best of my own loneliness and pain and sufferings and afflictions. Just I work so hard to rejoice and so-called to rejoice and glory in tribulations and trials. Amen. and and B, just you know making videos, more or less here and there, does help me cope with my saddening, depressing, and shitty life, by ranting, venting a bit, though not necessarily with the use of lots of profanities or vulgar languages, other than shite or shit. I still try my utmost best not to use the f bomb, the f the f bomb. You know, yeah. Since I want my videos, to sound, and to seem as children friendly um as as possible, you know considering the future possibilities that my channel somehow could get monetized by YouTube or whatnot, you know. But in any regards, I hope that this video can somehow soothe your pain, or somehow resonates with you guys, in terms of you know in terms of its relatability or relatedness, whatnot. um yeah I yeah I well I suppose, yeah, next, yeah, after I wrap this up, I might be playing some StarCraft 2 games, just to blow off some steam, and just to try to gain some validations, by trying to win, by trying to kind of bluff, trying to have something to show for after I win some games, if God willing, But other than that, yeah, I have very few ways, to give myself some self validations or positive affirmations. Considering considering the tragic and sudden loss of my old man and my grandma. And as a result of a prolonged period of grief and mourning and kind of voluntary self isolation from the mainstream community and society. I have run pretty much. I have pretty much run out of friends. I can pretty much say with absolute confidence that nowadays I don't have any friends, to speak of, or worth mentioning. You know, well, at least not friends that I have either met or had interactions face to face before, or friends that I can phone to, that I can call and ask for immediate help, or backups, or blah 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 whatnot. Yeah, my plan um for um for tomorrow, I suppose will be that I first of all, read and review some books. Some books about money, some book about a business. I might find myself narrating, Robinson Crusoe. Maybe. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I suppose sooner or later I may have to do a video or two about such book in the future. Anyway, so yeah, so it's better late than never. Yeah. So sure as heaven, better try. Yeah. So yeah, I just hope you guys, including myself, can all continue to hold the line by not committing suicide, by not resorting to self-deletion or self-termination, by not resorting to the act or behaviors of self-deletion or self-termination, or the attempts to self-delete or self-murder or self-terminate. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching and bearing with me to the end of this video / filming session. So yeah, have a lovely day or a lovely night, or at least have a better day or a better night than I am. Yeah, so take care. Stay safe. God bless, and if God's still willing, hope to see you guys next time in my next videos and posts on YouTube, on Patreon, Rumble, BitChute, MGTOW.tv, etc. Take care, stay safe, amen. Until next time, if God's still willing. Cheers, au revoir, bye.